Goldman Sachs just laid off 2,000 people, and almost nobody noticed because AI did the firing. This wasn't some leaked memo or a whistleblower story. It happened quietly, methodically, and it's the clearest sign yet that white-collar jobs aren't safe from automation. And here's the thing, it's not just Goldman. This is the playbook every major bank and tech company is running right now. Let me walk you through what actually happened, because the details matter. They're going to affect whether your job looks different in 2 years. Back in the mid-2010s, Goldman Sachs employed around 600 equity traders on their New York trading floor. These weren't random people. They were highly paid specialists, guys making $500,000, $1 million a year, whose entire job was to look at market data, spot patterns, and execute trades faster and smarter than the next guy. It was the job everyone thought AI couldn't touch. Why? Because it required intuition, judgment, decades of experience reading the room. Then they built Kensho. Kensho is an AI system that does exactly what those traders did. It reads market signals. It spots correlations. It executes trades. And it does it at machine speed with zero emotion and zero vacation days. By around 2017, Goldman had automated so much of the trading floor that they'd cut that 600 down to just two. Two traders left. The rest? Replaced by algorithms. Now fast forward to 2023. Goldman's new CEO, David Solomon, announces a massive restructuring. They're cutting 13% of their workforce, around 3,200 people, and explicitly telling investors that AI is doing a lot of the heavy lifting. But here's where it gets interesting. The 2,000 traders and middle office staff didn't all get replaced at once by a single AI. Instead, they were gradually squeezed out as banks deployed dozens of smaller AI tools across risk management, compliance, trade execution, and portfolio analysis. Each tool was supposed to augment human workers. That's the word everyone uses now. Augment. But augment is corporate speak for do the job, but cheaper. A single analyst used to spend 3 days building a risk model. Now an AI does it in 3 hours, and you need half the analysts. You don't fire everyone. You just don't hire the next generation. You promote fewer people. You squeeze margins on salaries. And slowly, the job disappears. Here's why this matters for your job, whether you work in finance or not. Goldman Sachs is a test case. When the smartest, most well-resourced companies on the planet decide to automate a role, they're sending a signal to every other company watching. They're proving it's possible. They're proving it's profitable. And they're proving that it doesn't require some science fiction AGI or a sudden breakthrough. It just requires patient, methodical replacement of tasks. The roles that vanished at Goldman first were the ones that were most rule-based and repetitive. Trade execution, data entry, compliance screening. These were the low-hanging fruit. But the AI didn't stop there. It moved up the chain. Portfolio analysis, risk modeling, even some of the strategic thinking that used to require a senior trader's judgment. That's being automated too. Now, here's the honest part. Not every job is Goldman's trading floor. Some work requires creativity, real human judgment, relationship building. Those are harder to automate. But they're not immune. We're already seeing AI that can write, design, code, analyze text, and generate insights. The jobs that feel safe today are the ones where the task is ambiguous, or where the human relationship is irreplaceable, or where the cost of an AI mistake is genuinely high. But anything that's rule-based, anything that can be measured and optimized, anything where the output can be checked by another AI, that's on the table. So what does Goldman's move tell us about the next 2 years? 3 things. First, white-collar jobs are not safer than blue-collar jobs. We spent decades hearing that AI would automate factories, but that knowledge work was untouchable. Goldman just proved that's wrong. The people most likely to be affected are the ones doing mid-level analytical work, compliance, basic coding, data processing, financial analysis, legal research, junior consulting. The stuff that's well-defined enough to automate but expensive enough to be worth automating. Second, the companies doing this aren't evil. They're not trying to destroy jobs for fun. They're responding to competition and shareholder pressure. If Goldman doesn't automate, their competitors will, and Goldman loses margin. So every company faces the same pressure. It's a prisoner's dilemma. Everyone knows it's not great for workers, but the incentive structure pushes everyone to do it anyway. Third, the transition is messy. Goldman didn't fire 2,000 people in a day. It happened over years, through attrition, hiring freezes, and quiet restructuring. That's actually worse in some ways, because people don't see it coming. 1 year you're fine. The next year, there's no promotion track. The year after, your whole department is under review. By the time you realize the job is disappearing, you're already behind on learning what comes next. Now, here's what actually matters. What do you do about it? The first thing is to get honest about your own role. Is your job mostly executing a set of rules? Is it something that could be measured and optimized? Is there an AI tool that already does part of what you do? If the answer to those questions is yes, you're in a vulnerable position. That doesn't mean you're about to be fired. It means you need to think about what you do that an AI can't, or at least, what's hard enough to automate that it's not worth it yet. The people who will be safest in the next 5 years are the ones who can do 3 things. They can work alongside AI, using it as a tool instead of being replaced by it. They can do the parts of their job that require genuine judgment, ethics, creativity, or human connection. And they can learn fast enough to keep up with what the tools can do. Second, start learning how these tools actually work. Not coding, not machine learning, just understanding what they're good at and what they're not. Because when your company inevitably asks you to use an AI tool to do your job faster, you want to be the person who understands it well enough to not get replaced by it. Third, think about what skills are actually hard to automate. If you're a financial analyst, the thing that's hard to automate is not the analysis. It's the client relationship, the judgment about what matters, the ability to communicate a complex idea. If you're a coder, the thing that's hard to automate is not writing code. It's understanding what the code should do, designing systems, talking to users. Get better at those things. And here's the last thing. Don't panic, but don't wait either. Goldman's restructuring didn't happen overnight, but it did happen. The AI tools are here. They're good, and companies are already using them. The time to think about your own situation is now, not when you're reading a layoff email. The Goldman Sachs story is real, it's recent, and it's a preview of what's coming across every industry. The good news is that you can see it coming. The better news is that you can prepare. The bad news is that a lot of people won't. If you want to actually understand what's happening in AI and what it means for your career, not hype, not fear-mongering, just clear explanations, subscribe. I break down one of these stories every few days, and you'll know what's actually changing before it affects you.